And now, your mama knows. And now, your mama knows. What's going on, good people? Thanks for tuning in to another episode of So Let's Talk. I haven't done an interview in a while, but every so often I meet someone really interesting that does some really interesting stuff or is into some stuff that's really interesting. And I tell myself, I gotta interview this person. I need to know for myself and for the viewers, what are they into and what are they talking about? So we have no other than Tokengamer in the building. I am looking forward to this interview. Let me just make sure we get our levels checked. Let me hear you say something, Tokengamer. Make sure I'm listening if I can hear you. Nope. Let's see. I don't hear you at all. And thanks for everybody tuning in. I appreciate it. Yep, I hear me, but I don't hear you. Unless it's just me, you guys tell me if you can hear Tokengamer. Get a little sip of the bubbly. It's only ginger ale. No, ginger ale. I'm talking about it's root beer. Oh yeah, just hit that little button. You're talking about the little microphone all the way at the left? Yeah, I think they could hear, like, because I'm listening to us right now in my right ear, and I can hear me, but I can't hear you. Oh yeah, okay, gotcha. That might be my fault. My bad, guys. Hold on. That might be me. Take a little tour with me behind scenes. Audio output. That's audio input. Oh, my audio output. I bet you. Yep. I, let's see. My audio output is probably not on the same thing. Yep. My bad. All right, say something now.
Mic check. 1 2 1 2.
Yep, there you go. Sorry about
Greystone
that,
said,
guys.
"Come on, Inspector Gadget."
Whoops. Yeah,
But
you know what it
how's it
is?
going, everybody?
Yeah, guys, now you can hear him. Sorry about that.
Happens.
All right, so now, guys, let me do my proper introductions. Once again, we got Tokengamer in the building. Let me just start over and tell you guys a little quick story. I was playing Stadia and what's your boy name?
Bionic Blue.
Yeah, Bionic Blue. And he
I don't
invited
remember,
you to
what was
jump
it?
in
Power
with us.
Rangers? I think
Huh?
it was Power Rangers.
I think it was Power Rangers.
Yeah. It must
And
have been like 2 weeks ago.
yeah, it was like 2 weeks ago. And dude, it was cool. We hit it off and it was cool. You was explaining to me a little bit about it. And then you jumped on the Sandy Anthony show. Shameless plug, guys. You got to check out the Sandy Anthony show every Thursday nights at 9 p.m. Eastern time on the Now Your MommaKnows channel. It's my wife and I cracking jokes, blah, blah, blah. But yeah, you jumped on there. You was telling me a little bit. And I was like, I still don't get it. And you were blowing my mind. And I was like, I need to know more. And as you gave me more, I was like, you know what? It'd be cool as you explain it to me, but you explain it to everybody. And so one of the cool things about this show is typically I record it and then put it out. So this is only the second time I'm doing it live. So the cool thing is people will watch this after the fact. So I figure let's put this on, so to speak, we call it wax. Actually, Josh Weirin that's in the building, I got that term from him, but he always say put it on wax, meaning do it on the actual show, have it recorded, then you can never get rid of it. So
Exactly.
So yeah, so here we are. So
And I thank you for that opportunity, man.
listen, thank you, because I'm dying to. I might have to, guys. You all might have to watch this video over because some of the stuff he's gonna say, you're gonna be like, wait, what? But I want to get into everything. All right, Token.
Yeah,
I want to
whatever.
So the cool thing is, I got some questions for you, but I want to get into the blockchain gaming. I want you to throw out Bitcoin a little bit in there because you could, some of the viewers could understand that a little bit more too. I want you to definitely, well, I guess blockchain gaming is what you were talking about, how you can't get rid of games, right?
Yes. Well, you can't get rid of the assets within the game. Okay. So think of, I'm not going to go too far into it yet.
Don't go in there yet.
Let's wait.
Right, so let's start off like this. So let me start over from the infantry stages of how did you get into this all?
Absolutely.
Like, if you could start there.
Sheesh. All right. So I would say it really starts about when I got into the internet.
Okay.
Because it's just been a journey of, just learning about things that gravitate towards me. Like if you come out with a project and I learn about it and it's something that I like, I'm on it all the time. But I gravitate towards a lot of projects that, not necessarily that I don't like it, it's just not something that I don't see myself utilizing on a day-to-day basis. So, examples, I found Gaikai really early. And I was wondering, what is this cloud gaming thing? What do you mean I could be able to play games in the cloud and the game isn't running on my hardware? And I thought that was pretty interesting, but it didn't gravitate towards me. Then I got a Google TV and I saw OnLive and I was like, yo, this is the future. But when I tested it, I realized, yeah, they're not the ones.
Okay, so hold on. For the people who don't know, explain Gaikai first and then OnLive.
Oh, so those are both, this is the Stadia community. Everybody's here for the cloud gaming.
And some people aren't. So some people aren't. Remember, my channel is an everything channel. So some people are going to come across this that may have watched a treadmill video, and have and don't play video games. So that's what's cool.
Nice. That is what's awesome about this. So for those that haven't heard of Gaikai or OnLive, they're both cloud gaming platforms that were really before their time. And that's what I'm talking about. Just finding a lot of those diamonds in the roughs that were really before their time. Sometimes I would really hype up the company itself, only to realize that the company wasn't making the right moves. But I realized over the long run, it's not about what the company is doing. It's about what the technology as a whole is doing. So it takes multiple companies getting into a technology for a technology to take off. That's why I'm going to bring up the example with cloud gaming, because me and you are both, cloud gamers from Google Stadia. Before Google Stadia came out, which was just a year ago, we both know about PlayStation Now, which bought Gaikai and OnLive. Both of those came out, I want to say, in like 2010. So just an example of cloud gaming. I saw it when it was really early, and then it grew. More companies got involved with the PlayStation, now Xbox, Amazon, Google, and now it's this big diverse market that's trying to compete with the PlayStation, the Xbox, and the Switch. So my overall example is just, hey guys, there's so much technology out there. Make sure you're always keeping up with what's new with technology. It's ever changing, it's always adapting. So in that quest for what's new with technology while I was in college in 2011, I came across this internet money, which after the 2008 recession, a bunch of developers got together and realized we can't trust the government to have all our money, especially since every time there's a new, in this instance, a pandemic, every time there's something bad that happens, all the government wants to do is print more money. But what does that do to your money? If you already have a dollar and they're creating new dollars, it makes the value of the dollar that you have less.
Sure.
So what these developers decided to do was create a cryptocurrency that has a finite amount. There will only ever be 21 million Bitcoin. Wow. When I saw that got my attention. That speaks wonders. Now, how do you validate and verify each of those transactions? Because I could just come up with some code, but it could be hacked, right?
Okay, I was going to ask you that next.
So what they created, because we're talking about really smart developers trying to come up with something to really change the world. What they came up with is called the blockchain. Some person dumbed it down for me my first time, and I thought it was a genius explanation. Think of it as like a tablet or a rock that I can grind a transaction. Jerome's sending this money to Anthony. This was the transaction, and then I could tie a chain around it. And the next person that wants to add another block of their transaction can go on and do so, and you just keep adding on to the chain more and more blocks of transactions. Okay. I can be able to validate each transaction by just following up the chain. Make sense?
Yes.
Okay. I'm following you. So they basically did the same process, but in computer algorithms. Okay. So a bunch of transactions are accumulated together and verified across 4 devices at minimum. And after 4 computers have verified this transaction, it then validates on the blockchain, and it's something that we could be able to verify that transaction. So a lot of people...
Blockchain.
You get it.
All right. That was clever.
So a lot of people see that validation process and say, yo, that's really good for finances, which is true, but it's not the only thing it's good for. Okay. I like to relate the blockchain a lot to the internet. You think of the internet, which is that decentralized connection of all of these different websites we go to. But then, I'm on my computer and I can access that information anytime. That's what I mean by it's, decentralized. Anybody can access it. Everybody could be able to view that information from anywhere. It's not on one centralized system, which is why you see a lot of like these hacks and problems that's going on right now, because they're all on one centralized system. And then hackers breach that one centralized system and get access to all of the data, whether it's credit card data, whether it's your address, whether it's your name, all that information, because they had all the information on one system. Whereas blockchain is all about decentralizing that information, making sure that there's a little bit of that information on my system, a little bit of that information on your system, their system, so on and so forth. That way, if something happens with my system, that information is still out there. It's still accessible. It doesn't matter. There's no way to shut it down forever.
So can people get hacked and stuff using blockchain?
The blockchain itself has not been hacked yet. However, the different platforms that are accessing the blockchain, where you can sign up and trade, exchange, stuff like that, that's where a lot of the hacking and cryptocurrency has been. So, that's all, before we start losing people and they leave because they don't care to hear about cryptocurrency, I get it. My main thing, like I said, is it's the technology. You know, if you look at the internet and said that the internet is just it's just a place for a bunch of banks, people would look at you like, no, it's not. What are you
Right.
talking about? Same thing with the blockchain. If you just say that just the blockchain is just about cryptocurrency, no, it's not. Like, what are you talking about? Yes, the main application for it right now has been financing cryptocurrency, but there's a lot of other use cases that could be used in there. So as we're both gamers, let's go ahead and, you know, gamify this conversation.
And just to be clear, you did say the other day, since we're going live, you don't mind if people ask questions, right?
Absolutely.
All right,
Please
cool.
ask
So I
questions.
just dropped in the chat that they could ask questions. All right, go ahead.
So, you know, let's gamify the talk real quick and break down how does this technology affect the gaming industry. Okay. And that's that diamond in the rough that I caught wind of and realized, yo, this is going to change the game, because I'm sure me and you both were Pokemon fans back in the day. You know, some people watching this might be baseball card holders or basketball card holders. You know, you have that physical asset that you can hold on to and trade and exchange and sell, do whatever you want with. It's yours. But you can't really play Pokemon without Pokemon cards, right?
Right, correct.
Same thing with blockchain gaming. So because of that same use case, a lot of blockchain gamer developers decided, let's create use cases like card games, where you could be able to have a card that has a, you know, art piece. The most known in the space right now would most likely be CryptoKitties. Some people might have heard about them back in 2017. I think the largest CryptoKitty transaction was 140,000 US dollars. Basically, what happened was a bunch of developers realized that we could take the same validation system that is the blockchain and validate each of the different art pieces that are these CryptoKitties. And people can be able to transact, trade, sell, do whatever with these CryptoKitties the same way you would if you had Pokemon cards. So people kept collecting them, trading them. Kind of think like, if you think of like Ditto from Pokemon, where it would merge with like Eevee and give you like the different type of Eevee forms, you could do the same thing with these cards. Because you had two of these digital assets in your wallet, you know, it's just an app on your phone. Just because you had them in your app on your phone, two of these CryptoKitties would be able to quote unquote merge together or mix and have a baby, which would be a new CryptoKitty. And that's just something that wasn't really heard of before. And having, you know, assets that you can own and sell and trade and do stuff like that on the fly. Think of Pokemon, but digitally, not locked in and secluded to just, you know, being owned by Nintendo. You know, imagine being able to take the picture of your CryptoKitty or your asset and use it elsewhere. You know, you can't use your Pokemon cards in other games. I can't take my Pokemon cards with me to Magic. However, with blockchain gaming, I can use those assets wherever other games allow it. So if one game allows the API for CryptoKitties, then I could be able to take my CryptoKitties, which is from a different game, just sign in with my wallet on this game, and all my CryptoKitties are there. Other games are starting to do that now in this space, where imagine having skins travel across with you. Imagine having your avatars travel across with you.
Let me stop real quick. So, but you would figure skins wouldn't be able to, not skins from one game to another game, but skins from.
Why not?
Wait. I mean, like, let's say I'm playing Fortnite on the PlayStation, and then I play Fortnite on the Xbox. Those skins, right? But not like if I'm playing Fortnite and then I'm playing Call of Duty.
Apex Legends. Yes. The Call of Duty.
What you're saying.
That is what we're developing. That is what is in the infancy right now. I catch wind of these projects that are doing amazing things really early. I'm sure you heard of a platform called Twitch. I was on it since it was called Justin TV.
Oh, wow.
You know what I mean? I find these things really early. And when I see something that I really believe has the capability of growing, like I back it, I talk about it, I tell everybody about Stadia, because I knew Stadia was going to reach this, had the potential to reach where it is now, thanks to Cyberpunk 2077.
Well, yes, because that's definitely the number one reason that made that definitely. I keep saying that it's Stadia's biggest win, just because in 2020 the measuring sticks of video games is Cyberpunk 2020. It's the biggest game. It's the best looking game. It's the most anticipated game, and it having those issues. and not on Stadia, definitely, I feel like that's such a huge win, And the thing is, nobody could ever, whether you're a fan or not a fan, nobody could ever take that away, right? That you can't
Exactly.
be like, oh, cloud gaming doesn't work. It's like, no, I think Cyberpunk said, and then the fact that they moved it off of other platforms, right? Stadia is one of the only platforms you can even buy it on right now. So how crazy is that, right? So, but yeah, not to even trust me, guys. This isn't a Stadia thing at all. This is on a whole nother level. But it's a good example. I like the example that he's making because we can use it and make it relevant.
Exactly.
And
So
by the way, I was sending some people some other messages, and some people are probably gonna have some questions. I got a buddy of mine.
I'm
She's
ready.
a Twitch person, and I wrote her say, "Hey, you want to check this out?" He's talking about Bitcoins, and she's been trying to explain that to me for a long time. I just like, whatever. But so I'm trying to see if she'd jump in here and all that, and blah blah blah. So
Absolutely.
sending some people our way.
I
Uh,
welcome all of the questions you guys have.
Want to just say what's up to some people in the chat of Chariot Man Gaming. Thank you very much. I'm sorry that I summoned you, sir, but I just thought maybe you'll like to hear some of this. Inspector's in the
Absolutely.
building.
Yeah,
And
we've been both talking back and forth with Spectre about next week. If you want to give
sure.
that a shout out.
Yeah, let me take the time to throw that in there, guys. Next week, Spectre is going to call it the Stadia Holiday Bash. And what that is we're going to invite people who aren't into cloud gaming necessarily, but we're going to do a 5-day stream, 3 streamers a day, 5, 6, and 7 p.m. Pacific time. And you could equate that to your own times. We got a bunch of slots left, and we're going to have one streamer will go, and then that streamer will tell everybody that's watching to jump onto the next streamer stream, and that person will tell them to jump on the next. But it's 3 a day. So after those 3 days, you say, hey guys, we're gonna get back tomorrow. There's gonna be 3 different streamers, and the goal is to make awareness to the cloud gaming, and the second awareness is to make awareness to yourself. So I talked to a buddy of mine today. He was a little bent out of shape. He said, "You said, oh, I'm definitely down." Now he has his channel is amazing. He is the only person I know that owns a PlayStation 5, an Xbox Series X, Google Stadia, and Luna. So he
Wow.
streams everything. So I sent him the thing, and he said, "Oh, cool! So I can stream other stuff." I said, "No, but you have to stream Stadia." He said, "Oh, that what are you talking about?" I read the thing, and it said we welcome everybody. I said, "Yes, but it also said that we want to give awareness to Stadia." So, but if you do stream and you stream Stadia, yes, you're welcome to tell everybody about whatever else you do as well. You're welcome to say, oh, by the way, I stream Stadia, but I also do this, this, and this, and this. And also, if there's some people listening who don't stream Stadia, well, Stadia is free, and Bomberman is free, and Destiny's free. So those are 2 games you could get for free. Don't have to put in credit card information or nothing. So and Stadia has YouTube direct streaming. So if you just want to be a part of it and you want to jump in for the first time and stream and play Stadia, let us know. We'll let you get in as well with some of the slots, and then you could, promote stuff you do as well, because you might be the best person to be a part of this, because you'll be bringing people in that your audience probably don't know anything about Stadia. So that's also a key feature. And I could actually talk you through it too, as well, through all the steps if you want to create a Stadia account, if you want to get the free games, claim your free games, and also to use the YouTube streaming. So definitely let us know as well.
And from that, I caught wind of that, and I love it. I enjoy that. I really want to just get together with other, people within this community. And I really wish we didn't have a pandemic, because this sounds like something that would be worthy of, being its own conference, being an event where we can get a lot of people together. And that's one of the things that, really I got interested in virtual reality for that reason. Being able to connect with other people socially without needing to leave my house, and be able to do it at all hours of the day or night. So I found a platform called AltSpace VR. It's free. Microsoft develops it and purchased it a while back. And I started utilizing that platform to talk to people about Bitcoin. Started talking to, there are people in there are gamers. So started talking to them about blockchain gaming. There's a few blockchain games we could talk about in a little bit. And we just been having some conversations, regularly having meetings. And then I figured, let me get a bunch of the blockchain gaming projects together, kind of bring some of their assets into the virtual world, and kind of show everybody, like, this is what blockchain gaming is, and here's all of the different blockchain gaming companies that are out there. So we did an awesome little conference. It was like an all-day event, 12 hours long. We had a bunch of different companies from all over the world came out and showed everybody, had awesome conversations, telling us about what they're developing and what they're aiming for. So really ahead of the curve before anybody else even hears about this technology. Virtual reality, and people in VR got to experience it and understand it, visually. So from there, I started to do regular events, not just like conferences in VR, but weekly events. So Annalise, one of my co-hosts, runs Crypto Mondays VR. We do a futurist podcast together in VR. I play video games on Wednesdays and Fridays. And Saturdays, I do a crypto chat just like this, where I'm talking to someone that's within the space that either is working on their own project, developing, aspiring to be to develop their own project, whatever it is. I want to help the people that are still new to the space have a voice in this community. Whereas like Crypto Mondays is where we interview like CEOs and people that are already at the top. So great way to just welcome everybody that's from new to a pro in the crypto space in virtual reality. And it came in just in time, just as a pandemic happened. We were starting to scale that up. So a lot of projects. Go ahead.
Oh no, I was gonna ask you, do you have to have a VR headset in order to do that, or no?
You do not.
Wow.
You can access from a PC. They just finally got access for Macs. The longest I've had people bothering me wanting to join in Mac, but there was no option. I'm sorry. And finally, they developed it, and you could be able to join in from a Mac or a PC, 2D. You could tell who's in 2D because they have no hands, whereas everybody that has controllers have hands, and you can be able to, wave and do all sorts of stuff in virtual reality. There's some games where you can actually pick up and bowl and do all sorts of stuff, and you need to have the hands to play. But I'm glad that they still have access for people that could still just be able to join in. Sometimes I don't want to wear the headset, and I'll just join in on the PC and still be able to talk to people without being fully immersed.
Well, you were showing me a little bit of it the other day, which is cool, but you definitely got to show me some more. Guys, you could also contact him as well. His contact information is in the description as well. So make sure you hit him up. You don't have a problem with people hitting you up.
Please.
So yeah, he would definitely want to explain more and go into maybe more detail and actually invite people to check out some of the do you do like virtual reality tours?
Absolutely. And I have a Calendly. I should have sent you that in advance. I have a Calendly I could send to you, which if anybody wants to sign up, I'll teach them how to get into VR, and then we'll have a conversation in VR, talking about, whether it's gaming, crypto, whatever have you. I just want to help people, know about what's going on in the space. And a lot of these times I go to these thinking that, I'm going to educate this person on this, and then I come out learning something at the end of the day. So it's always a win-win.
Yeah. Well, speaking of that, let's see what's going on in the comments. Let's see. Spectre just wanted to also say it's also a time to have fun and shine a light on everyone who's trying to promote their channels as well. So, like we said, if you guys want to be a part of the Stadia Holiday Bash, you'll also be able to promote yourself as well. Ray said he streamed Twitch. Yeah, Ray, to be honest, there's people who stream Stadia on Twitch as well. It just seemed like a lot of people stream on YouTube, but yeah, in order to actually use the streaming platform, you would have to use Twitch. But you would have to use YouTube. But I can easily show you how to use StreamYards. StreamYards is super simple, and that's what a lot of people use because it's so simple and it takes all of the hard stuff out, whether you want to use a camera or not. So we could always get together, and I could show you how to stream. You still play a game on Twitch, but you're streaming through StreamYards. So let's see. Spectre said, what'd you say?
I was going to say, after that comment from Spectre, Bruce had a nice comment about Bitcoin that I want to respond to.
Okay. Okay, cool. And you can read it too if you like. Spectre said, I want to reiterate that this is a Stadia only stream, but like All Purpose Champ said, use this to segue and advertise your content. Yeah, it's cool. I mean, when I talked to Spectre about it, like, again, we all met because of Stadia, right? So we definitely want to give credit to the platform. We obviously have a lot of love for the platform, but we do other things. Like, for instance, Tokengamer, man, he's out there in some of the, for me, it's out there. You've been doing it forever. You're probably like, what? This is common. But, you know, obviously, but he's, you know, he's helping with the event as well. And, you know, he's going to share some of his stuff also. But, yeah, go ahead if you want to take away Bruce's, comment.
Absolutely. So Bruce Campbell said, from an article I read, 1/4 of Bitcoin users are involved in illegal activity. We estimate that around 76 billion of illegal activity per year involve Bitcoin, 46% of Bitcoin transactions. To which I respond, you know, that's immediately, my girls are right next to me, ready to jump right in on that one. Just like, well, there's more fraud that will always happen in cash. That is a fact. Cash is king, and cash will always have more fraud because you can't really track how many people are out there utilizing the US dollar right now for illegal activity. And illegal activity could count for a lot of different things. So, you know, the fact that it's quantifiable and that way we could see that information and it's transparent that there's illegal activity happening with these wallets because they went to these websites to buy these assets. Yo, I'm glad that we can actually be able to track that. Can you do that with cash? Good luck in finding all the drug dealers and, you know, tracking their IP address and tracking, you know, the websites that they're going to buy drugs with cash. You know, like that's some of the things that it's like, yes, there's always going to be a double-edged sword to technology. We have to understand
a loophole, so to speak.
You know, a loophole, so to speak, for all sorts of technologies. It's a matter of how can we utilize the technology to, you know, minimize on those. To say that, you know, it's 1/4 of blockchain, I would say or of Bitcoin, I would say maybe I would agree with that back in 2010 through 2015. After we've gotten out of that time period where Bitcoin was mainly utilized for that stuff, and now we're into a time period where you have a lot of developers, a lot of financiers, you know, a lot of just people that want to invest and know that they have a hedge against their dollar, knowing that if the government decides to print $10 trillion tomorrow, I still have my money elsewhere that won't deflate because of the fact that there's so much money being added due to quantitative easing.
It's a good question, though, Bruce. Thanks. And Bruce, the funny thing about you making that comment is because I like to call you the cheater. The quick little story: when I was preparing for Super Saturday, and I had I was doing my preparations, and I had I was doing a raffle, and Bruce won like 9 out of 10 times. I'm just saying, Bruce, I'm on to you. Little friendly. That's our joke. We go back and forth, but he did win like 9 out of 10 times. I'm just saying. So then Spectre said, you can use this YouTube stream to advertise your Twitch if you'd like to, but YouTube stream has to be about Stadia. Right. So we went over that. Ray said, I never streamed on YouTube before, mostly been all Twitch. Yeah, like I said, Ray, you and I talk a lot of time. We got each other's phone number. I could call you and explain to you how you could still stream on Twitch and be a part of it. So don't worry about that because it's ways around that. And Johnny is in the building, and he says he's a long-time listener, and that's what's up.
That's who got me onto this channel, guys. Thank you, Johnny.
Yeah, man.
But yeah, man, I'm glad I came across your channel. I see that, you know, we're both, you know, an everything channel trying to put it all together, and that's why I call my channel Blockchain Universe, because there's so much different things happening in the blockchain industry. There's so many different companies doing different things. It's really hard to keep track of it all by yourself. So, you know, having a community that we could meet up together virtually, you know, whenever we want, that's what I sought to create. And now I've been collaborating the same way how you guys do Stadia Source, and we're trying to put together this holiday bash. I've been thinking about doing that for a little while as well. Got together with a bunch of the other people in the blockchain scene, got a bunch of people that just do education, got together with some other people that are big on non-fungible tokens, which are kind of like what I was telling you with the gaming assets, but mainly geared towards art. So a lot of artists got into cryptocurrency, especially this year during the pandemic, where they realized, well, I can't go out and socialize and sell my art pieces like I usually would, but I can go on Adobe and build these beautiful digital art pieces and then put them on a website where I could be able to sell them and earn cryptocurrency that's going up in value, especially if you look at the rate that Bitcoin grew from. In March, it was down at $3,000, and just today we hit $24,000. I saw. Go ahead.
Let me ask you this. So I wanna jump back into the gaming because I don't know who jumped in, just jumped in the stream, but So you were saying that blockchain gaming, right? So explain to me how you were telling me the other day that essentially there could be a game. Let's say a lot of people are afraid of the cloud because they feel that, well, technically you don't own that game, right? And so if, let's say Google, let's just bring Stadia on the table. So we buy all these games through Stadia's platform because we know Stadia is not a console, it's a platform. Stadia have massive data centers all over the world right now, and they're building more, and they're streaming the game that's in their data center to whatever device we have. So it's nothing tangible. You can't grab a PlayStation and say, you can't grab a Stadia, right? You can grab your Chromecast Ultra or your cell phone or your laptop, but you can't grab essentially a Stadia. So you were explaining to me that blockchain gaming could be something like, let's say I buy a game on Stadia and Google goes out of business for whatever reason, right? Some people say, well, what if they get rid of Stadia, even though they spent billions of dollars on Stadia? They got people like the person who was the head of God of War 4, people who was the head of the first 3 Assassin's Creed. So I just making it, I don't think that's going to happen. But let's just say Google went out of business. So those games we purchased would be gone, right? There's nothing you could do. There was in the cloud anyway. There was never nothing you got to download. You never got to save anything. You never got to install nothing. Your stuff is gone. But explain to me how you were saying that blockchain gaming, you could essentially still keep your games, even though you purchased it over the internet.
So we haven't seen any examples yet for the full game.
Right.
But what we have seen are examples of the assets from the game. So like I was saying with the whether it's your skins, some games might make it so that your sword or your gun, whatever asset it is in the game, you would be able to download that, essentially hold it on your wallet, if you will, an app on your phone or your computer that stores all of your different assets that you have for all your different games. So the potential is that we could be able to put the entire game on the blockchain, so that way if the game was to shut down tomorrow, you would be able to still access the game and, utilizing the blockchain, continue to connect with other people and play the game. Think of it as having like I don't know, like Pokemon on the Game Boy, and even though the game isn't being developed anymore, the game is out there, it's long and gone, but if I still have like the little cable adapter or whatever to plug into your Game Boy, we could be able to still play Pokemon today, right? That same technology, but all digital. You would just be able to send that link. And
let me jump in here and make it more relevant. You sound like you was a big Pokemon fan. I think I was a Pokemon fan before a lot of people were Pokemon fans, because I'm a little bit older, but I remember when it first came out, and it was a big deal, the summer of 1998. And I remember, gotta catch 'em all, just you and Pokemon. Me. I know it's my destiny. All right, anyway. So, oh, you're my best friend.
My best friend in the world we must defend.
Okay, so sorry guys, but I show my age. Now, I was a fan. So, let me take it back to probably somewhere in the 2000 and something, but I remember the game Evolve came out, and it's supposed to be a big deal. It was one of the first, they call it asymmetrical game, where one person had a creature, and you went up against 4 people. That was the hunters, right?
I was big on that too.
And I was a big fan. Now we know that the company, they shut down the servers and everything. So actually, I want to see this. So I wonder if, like, I knew when they shut them down, I was able to still play my game. But technically, if I deleted my game, then I probably can't download it again.
Correct.
So what you're saying is, with blockchain gaming, if you would have kept those residuals of it, or again, it's potentially in the future. You
still have the file, to which I could send to you, and someone else could then have the file as well.
Kind of like an APK.
You have that file. Exactly. Because you have that APK, and then utilizing the blockchain, you would just be able to continue to have that server, if you will, but over a decentralized network that's not controlled by, I forget the company that created Evolve.
Man, I don't remember. I have to look it up.
Such a good game, man. I was so sad that it didn't take off.
Awesome game. But so what you're saying is, essentially, like in real life, when Evolve, they went under, I got to check. I got 2 PlayStations. It might still be on one of my PlayStations, because I used to jump on and just play. I used to just jump on and play it offline and just, you know, play it, run
And you'd
around
be
and
playing
attack the
with the
creatures.
AIs and stuff like that, but you
Yeah,
can't connect with another human
right. But
anymore.
you're saying
Whereas,
that via blockchain, you may be able to keep your game that you theoretically could never play anymore and still play with other people.
exactly.
Now that is pretty amazing. I mean,
So you're talking still on the whole game basis.
right,
We're still that's the theory. I
right,
definitely believe that as the technology evolves,
right.
that's going to be a piece of cake and it's going to be in the API for games going forward. But as of right now, it's still a game changer. Like that Pokemon card, having
Right.
that asset, having, you know, my whatever it is for this game and knowing that I have control of it. I can take
Right.
it with me and have that FBX file that I can upload and check it out in AltSpace. You can come see the store that I won in this game and look at it in my gallery of assets that I won across these games, as
Right.
well as I could turn around and sell it to you. Now, that's the big thing, having an economy based around a game. A lot of people like to talk about Second Life. That was one of the biggest games that had its own economy where there was actual money being circulated around the people that were in the game.
Right.
You know, that's what we're talking about, enabling that same technology, but across the board for all games going forward that allow this technology to be a part of your game.
But give me an example of that. What do you mean? Like you could use money currency that goes from game to game. Like for instance, if I buy a game
Mm-hmm.
and I buy, let's say I jump on Fortnite, right? And I buy
Mm-hmm.
an outfit,
V-Bucks.
huh? Yeah,
You
the V
buying an
Bucks,
outfit with V-Bucks.
right?
Let's say other games allowed you to then use V-Bucks, which I'm sure Epic is going to enable for only Epic games. But
Right.
we're talking about outside of just Epic. V-Bucks is a currency.
Right.
Bitcoin is a currency. There's all
Right.
these different currencies. If your game allows the exchange of that currency, yeah, I would be able to give someone in the game currency as well as sell my sword power level 50 with all of these different things for a bunch of these in-game currency
So
that I would.
hold on. I guess as I'm catching on. So
Mm-hmm.
when Stadia first came out, not first came out, but in the summertime, one of the pro games was Elder Scrolls, and I never played an Elder
Mm-hmm.
Scrolls game before. But my brother was super into Skyrim, and he told me, you know, it's so massive, blah blah blah. So when I got into Elder Scrolls, I created a guild, and in my guild, we could actually give each other like weapons. We could give all
Exactly.
type of stuff. So I guess what you're saying is like in the virtual game, but not tied to one game, you can actually give
Exactly.
somebody money in that game that they could use in that game, but even use in another game. Because that would
Exactly.
be pretty
Even
cool.
sell it for cash.
Okay.
So yeah, you're on the right track. But again, with that, you're still centralized to ESO. You're locked into their game to
Right.
exchange with other people. Whereas with this technology, as long as you're on the same platform, if you're on Bitcoin, everything has to be Bitcoin. If you're on Ethereum, everything has to be Ethereum. If you're on Litecoin, everything has to be Litecoin. Each cryptocurrency has their own platform, if you will, and then people can be able to use that to
But
exchange and
right,
add
because they're
on.
not tied to one specific game. Now, is this a thing right now?
It's both still in the early phase, so you're not going to hear about any huge games that are developed by it,
Right.
but it's also at that point where there's been a bunch of indie developers that have now tested the waters a lot and created a bunch of different games.
Right.
Some of the I want to like just pull up a website, I guess, and show you
All right,
some
as
of
you
the
do
top
that, let me look
games.
at the comments real quick.
Yeah,
Let's
go to
see.
that right
Bruce said exploits utilize it. It's exploits utilized by foreign intelligence services that gets scary. Fair enough. Johnny said PlayStation Home had a bunch of in-app purchases. All the stuff people purchase is gone. Yeah, I remember that. PlayStation Home was my thing,
Mm-hmm.
man. I remember making
Yep.
my character look just like me. Josh Warren said, "Wonderful conversation, fellas. Thank you. Yeah, you definitely got it, Josh."
Thank you.
Yeah, and Johnny said an intelligence conversation, and then Josh said, "Wow, imagine if Bitcoin wins the race to a currency in gaming." Yeah, I mean that would be so. It would be pretty cool because if you're saying that out of a game, I could use Bitcoin to buy something in a game, but in a game, I could still use Bitcoin to buy something in that game and in other games.
Correct.
That would be crazy.
Mm-hmm.
But
However, I don't think Bitcoin is going to be the one. Hear
okay,
me out.
okay,
Bitcoin was made to be more like gold.
okay,
You don't play games with gold, you play games with the little game coins. You know, think
right,
like your money from Dave and Buster's.
Right.
No, the reason why is because it takes long. There's more computation. There's a lot that's going on when you're doing a transaction with Bitcoin. Whereas we have these other platforms that are looking at this and saying Bitcoin wasn't made to scale for a community like gamers, where there would be trillions of dollars in transactions instantly, and I need to be able to have that transaction take place within milliseconds. Bitcoin takes place within 30 minutes, which is still fantastic when you compare it to credit card industry, which I work in the credit card industry. It takes about 3 to 7 days to process your credit card transaction on the back end. You might see it on your bank account where it says pending for a day or two, but on the back end, it's taking a long time to send that money from your bank account to the merchant's bank account.
That's cool.
Not with Bitcoin. It does it in 30 minutes, which is still miraculous, but not fast enough for us gamers. I can't make a transaction in a game and wait 30 minutes for Zer to give me my damn gun.
Right.
So we need faster, scalable technology. And that's why a lot of other platforms are saying Bitcoin's not going to be the one that beats the gaming industry, but I am. And one of the gaming platforms that's really touting that is called Engine. I like where they're going. They're doing really amazing things. They're working on what's called a metaverse. They're working with, I think, about 12 different games and game developers to make a universe for all of their games. So like what we were talking about, where I can have, the assets are exchangeable as well as the money is exchangeable. So they have their own cryptocurrency. Bitcoin is BTC, Engine is ENJ. It runs on Ethereum. Thing is, Ethereum is currently going through a huge transition that I'm kind of on the heels of right now. And
so that's watching. Like Ethereum is another currency.
Yes, Ethereum is number 2.
Though. You said Bitcoin, Ethereum, and something else.
Litecoin was another one that I mentioned just because they're big. They're also really pushing for gaming right now, and I know one of the people within that space. But the number 3 on the list is currently XRP, but I'm gonna say hold on to that because they just got sued by the SEC yesterday for a $1.5 billion lawsuit, so they're tanking right now. I never had any faith in them anyway. But getting back to Engine and what they're doing with their metaverse, they're making it so that way you could be able to, exchange assets, whether it's a sword in one game, I could be able to sell it for a gun in another game and be able to use that in the games that allow. So if this game allows you to use guns and swords, I could take the sword that I had in a different game and use it in this game. But if a game is just a gun game, of course, I can't take my sword into this gun game.
That would be crazy. Now, hear me out, because I'm gonna go a little crazy with this, but I see where you're going. And it's gonna tie in. I heard you say Zer. So was you recently?
Destiny
was you a
fan?
Destiny? You was a Destiny player?
Absolutely.
All right, cool. So more people just jumped in. So let me ask you this real quick, and then I want you to kind of give a little light lead. Summarize what we're talking about for the people who just jumped in. But so what you're saying is something like, I could be playing Destiny, and let's say I get give me a good weapon. What was your favorite weapon?
Damn.
One of them, anyway. Because I don't know how recently you played it, but the Jotun is amazing.
I haven't been on in a minute, but I keep saying I'm going to get back on and play.
Okay, so the Gjallarhorn. You've heard of the Gjallarhorn.
Okay. Yes.
Probably the most popular weapon. So let's say, what you're saying is I can have a Gjallarhorn, and then I jump in Hitman, and if Hitman allows rocket launchers, I could potentially be like, well, let me use the Gjallarhorn from Destiny.
Exactly.
That would be crazy. Now, and you're trying to say that are you saying that technically the same company who creates each game doesn't have to be the same company? Because I could get if Ep6 say, you know what, now you could use weapons from Fortnite and that Monster Hunter clone game. What was that called?
I don't remember.
It pretty much was Monster Hunter, but but it was Epic's version. So that I get. But if you're saying like Bungie, which made the Gjallarhorn, you could use that in, I don't know, whoever makes
343's new Halo. Yep.
Wow. So I see
more. It's not about the gaming companies. It's about the technology, the platform, what they're building their game on. Think of like Unity as a game engine. This is the game currency engine, if you will.
Okay. Well, I get it because I look at it in terms of PlayStation. So they explain the reason why PlayStation 4 wasn't backwards compatible because the PlayStation 3 was made with the Cell engine. And remember that came out, it was a big deal, had a Cell engine. The chip was so powerful, it could guide missiles and all that. But then when they made the PlayStation 4, they used a totally different engine. So therefore, games that ran on Cell engine just couldn't run on a PlayStation 4. So you couldn't have it backwards compatible. Whereas Microsoft, the reason why you could keep playing all the Xbox games on the Microsoft Series X, these Microsoft names
All
kill
the way
me.
back to the 360
Correct, because they were all made on the same the same engine.
platform.
So same platform. Yep. So can you just reiterate, just give a small reintroduction of what we're you and what we're talking about, what you're explaining to us?
Hi everybody that's just joining in. I go by Rome, but I Tokengamer, and I created Blockchain UniVRse, which is a community for gamers and people that are new to the cryptocurrency space. I'm trying to help people understand what is this technology and why it's important, where it's going. This technology, I believe, and I'm hoping that after this conversation with you, now that you understand it a bit, that you believe as well, that this technology has the potential to really change the game. And that's all I really want to get out there, is that I have come across something that I think everybody should know about, regardless if it's something that's going to affect your life or not. You should at least know that there is a verification system called the blockchain that is mainly being used right now to validate cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoin, so on and so forth. But that's not the only potential that it has. Like the internet, for one industry, many different industries are utilizing this technology, and it's going to create many different products that hopefully you'll use one day. And I'm hopefully going to find one of those diamonds in the rough and make a bit of an investment in it and come out with the W at the end.
Nice. Well, let me ask you this. Can you tell us what has the highest potential right now? What do you have your eye on, if you don't mind? If it's, if you don't mind sharing.
Absolutely. That. No, please. Absolutely, guys. Any questions? I'm an open book. So I think Engine definitely has potential because of their metaverse, that idea of having not just focusing on one game, but on the platform for 20 games, hundreds of games, being a PlayStation, if you will, of specifically blockchain games. That's interesting. That's genius, in my opinion. Whereas a lot of the other platforms or products out there in this space that are at the top, they're their own game. They just saw this technology, thought, ooh, I can build that into my game and it would make my game better. And that's what they did. And they're just focused on themselves. And then realizing, oh yeah, this technology does allow me to work with others. So I think Engine is in the right direction. I think that the games that are just focused on getting into the Steam store are kind of secluding themselves, though. What I like is that every developer is kind of trying to tackle the gaming industry and get to mass adoption from different routes. You have some games that are just focused on being on the web, so it's quick and easy for anybody to access their game. One of my favorite web-based blockchain games is Splinterlands. Real simple, real easy to get to. Splinterlands. I think either .io or .com, and it's real quick and easy. I'm actually just going to pull it up because I could throw that on your stream.
Oh, cool. Let me look in the comments real quick.
Yeah, here it is.
Let's see here. Johnny said, is fragmentation, he said, is fragmentation a concern with Bitcoin?
Being a product that can be fragmented into several different, so think of it like the United States dollar has 100 pennies equals $1.
Okay.
Fragments of Bitcoin are, you have like one sat, which is 1 out of 100 million, together would equal 1 Bitcoin. So 100 million, we call them Satoshis, sats. So that is that a problem? I think that having a product that can diversify and split up into multiple different fragments, and people could be able to buy those individual fragments, I think that's great for a currency. It's great for a product. A lot of people are scared at that $24,000 per Bitcoin. I don't have $24,000, so how am I going to buy a Bitcoin? You don't have to buy the entire $24 Bitcoin. You can buy $1 in Bitcoin. You'll get 60 Satoshis.
So, do you know who's the richest person in Bitcoin's wealth? Is there such a person? Got to be, right? Got to be one person that has more Bitcoins than the next.
Um, Most likely it would be Satoshi Nakamoto, which is the person that created Bitcoin, but they haven't touched their Bitcoin since they went ghost. He created Bitcoin, created a wallet, got everything created. And, when you're developing technology that can really change the world, it's best to stay anonymous. So he disappeared and that wallet's just been kind of sitting there. Um, Anybody that got in the game early, however, you can't really tell because unless you go track all of their wallets and do all that research to see which wallets hold the most Bitcoin. I'm sure there's a website and some algorithm that's keeping track of that on a
Right,
regular
right.
basis, but people are buying and selling so often, I'm not certain who's at the top anymore or keep track of anything like
Is
that.
is there a certain number that one Bitcoin is equal to how much dollars? Is that such a thing or no?
One Bitcoin is equal to $24,000 the
Oh,
last time I looked at it. Yeah.
okay.
I saw Bitcoin when it was 30 cents in 2011. It went up from 30 cents up to $1, came down, went up from like 6 cents all the way up to I think like $10, came down, went up to $100, came back down, went up to $1,000, came back down, went up to $20,000, and we've come down from 2017. Like I said, we hit a low of 3,000 after the pandemic announcement in March, and we've gone up nonstop since. Yeah, there's been little dips, but I don't really think that that's much when you're going up from 3,000 up to 24,000 over
Okay,
the course of
so
what, 10
if
months?
Bitcoin has a certain number, right? You can't have more than. Wait, is that you mean each individual person can't have more than, or there's not like there's a cap, period?
There is a cap. That's what I'm talking about. How
Okay,
much US dollars will ever exist?
okay, gotcha.
How much ever Bitcoin will ever exist? 21 million.
Okay, so then if I have zero, how do I get one Bitcoin?
By paying the entire 24,000, but you don't have to buy an entire Bitcoin. Like I said, you could just go to Cash App if you're in the United States, app made by the company Square, and you can be able to put in $1 into Cash App right now, and you'll get about 60 satoshis of Bitcoin. You can put $24,000 into it, and you'll get one Bitcoin.
But if it so okay, so all the Bitcoins haven't been taken.
Correct. And the last Bitcoin won't be mined until 2140. So the way that the process that the developers created to make sure that somebody couldn't just go buy all of it all at once was by having it as it's created. It's not just created all at once. It's created over a long period of time. So every 10 minutes there's a reward that's rewarded to all of the computers that verify transactions on the blockchain. Those computers are called nodes. So every node is verifying transactions every second, all of the people that are doing Bitcoin transactions all around the world. And every transaction requires at minimum 3 or 4 computers to verify, nodes to verify that transaction was processed. And the computers are basically just solving an equation, and the first 4 computers to do so validate that transaction, and it's added to the blockchain. Go ahead.
It sounds like Ready Player One. It sounds so futuristic when I try to like. I mean, I'm getting it more and more. The wheels are definitely turning. But 2040, you said, right?
2140.
2140, I mean, really isn't that far away, right? You think about it.
When you think about it in the long run, we're going to get to a point where I think Bitcoin's going to hit a plateau where it's just going to be at whatever dollar amount it is after that last peak. And it's just going to kind of stay stagnant, bouncing around, maybe making small growth, but it's not going to be as fast of a growth as we are right now. I think if you look back at the, from March when it fell to 3,000 all the way up to when we hit 24,000 today. If I'm not mistaken, somebody had put in an article that it was like 12,000% growth.
Wouldn't you
Where
think
else can you
some
find?
rich person would just want to buy up as much as they can?
And they're trying to. They're trying as hard as they can. The companies are called Square and PayPal. They're the ones that are buying the most Bitcoin as we can right now. They're the ones that are putting up the most money. Why? Because they understand, people can be able to trade this peer-to-peer, and there's just so many different things that this thing can do
Right.
Yeah, why not own it? And Square just announced that now that they've been doing this for 2 years, they've made over billions of dollars just in the
So
1 year
it's
of,
almost like a currency and a product and an item, right?
yes.
Like a currency and a service. It's like,
Yep.
okay, if I get a credit card and I purchase these earbuds, right? But at the same time, I could sell these earbuds and make money. So I guess the Bitcoin itself is like a currency and item. So
Yeah.
it's like you could take that same item and make money off of it, but it also is the currency in essence.
Yep.
That's
Yep.
crazy.
It's new. It's not easy to get. I get it. I wish I had someone explain it to me in 2011. I would have bought as much as I could from 2011.
Right.
I
So
didn't have anybody to have this conversation with.
so hold on, one last thing I think that's important, right? So this in our world, I don't want to say real world, not like Bitcoins is real, but so this I could sell today, and then for or a year from now I'll try to sell it, but it will lose its value. So the difference is, but Bitcoin, it technically should still, well, no, because you said the value can go up and down. So
It
yeah, technically, okay,
fluctuates, but if you
right,
look at the overall picture,
right,
overall, we've been going up. Like I said, 2011, we were at 30 cents. 2020, we haven't fallen below $3,000.
right,
The floor hit 3,000 and we've gone up since. I no
right,
longer think that we're ever going to see numbers as small as 3,000, 10,000. I think we might not even see 20,000 again. A lot of people's prediction is that by the time this cycle is done, we're going to be around $100 to $500,000, and then we're going to cycle down again, and it's going to be like a U until the next
right,
what we call halvening. So I was telling you a little bit about that reward process. Every 10 minutes, all of the computers that validated Bitcoin, they're rewarded Bitcoin. In the
okay,
beginning, when Bitcoin first started in 2008, the reward was every time you validated a block of Bitcoin, you were rewarded 50 Bitcoins. That was back in the day when I could use like one computer to mine these transactions because there wasn't a lot of transactions happening at one time.
right.
Now, when you're talking about millions of transactions happening per second, there needs to be millions of computers to validate this. So they built into the code, instead of always giving out 50 Bitcoin every 4 years or so, after every certain amount of blocks, there's going to be a halvening of that reward. So the reward went from 50 Bitcoin in 2008 to in 2012 we had the official first halvening, which cut it down to 25 Bitcoin. Then we had our second halvening in 2016, which cut it down to 12.5 Bitcoin. And then we had our third halvening this year. I do a halvening party in virtual reality. You can watch all that on my channel, Blockchain Universe. But we threw a halvening party where everybody was counting down until that last block when the reward would cut in half, and it went from 12.5 Bitcoin to 6.25 Bitcoin that's rewarded every 10 minutes, every time a block is generated on the blockchain. So going forward until 2024,
Right.
it's going to be 6.25 Bitcoin rewarded to all of the computers that are verifying blockchain transaction or Bitcoin
Crazy. How do
transactions.
you sign up to be one of the computers? Is that
You
a
have
thing?
to create a node. There's a whole bunch of technology that's involved. It takes a lot of computations. Your
Oh,
computer needs to be strong enough. Back in the day, it was really simple to just use your computer. I was really sad because I had the opportunity. I had the first phone that was allowed to be used as a mining rig. I easily had a computer. I was in college, man. I was in 2011. I didn't realize that you can earn Bitcoin. I thought you had to buy Bitcoin. And I
right,
didn't understand why I would buy internet money and like where would I sell it? What would I do with it?
right,
How would
right,
it work? It made no sense to me in 2011. As I kept watching the value go up, I'm like, no, I get it. It's investment. It's like buying stocks. If I
right,
buy it while it's low, it's going to go up. So I tried to wait until it hit a low point and buy. But in the beginning, it was so early. It's such a new technology. My bank, Wells Fargo, wouldn't let me buy it. I tried several times over the years until Cash App and Robinhood allowed you to be able to buy Bitcoin. I just kept being stupid and not getting into it until I saw that run up to $20,000. And I was just like,
right.
guys, I could have had this at
Ah.
30
It's almost as dumb.
cents.
Here, I'll tell you a story that might make you not feel as bad. I worked at one job for 19 years. It's been a little over years. I haven't been there. I worked at a market research company. I started there in 2000, and I stopped working there in 2009 because they had a major downsizing, so they let a bunch of people go. Well, when I joined there, I was in my early 20s, and they was like, hey, we got 401k, we matched 3%. I'm like, man, I don't want to give my money up to 401k. So I was there for 17 years until I decided, wow, let me do 401k. So somebody was like, bro, you was there for 19 years and didn't put in, and it was matching. And I just, I just was young and was like, so you know how much money in 19 years I would have had, like just sitting there? I mean, I'd have been looking pretty good for my retirement. That isn't years away,
Yeah,
But
man.
let's jump into these comments.
For sure.
So Spectre said, this is interesting concept. I hope this catches on quickly. Josh put the money back. Spectre said, like how fast money transfers from one Zelle user to another. And then Josh said, Spectre, exactly.
I kind of wait before we keep running on the list, because you said like, oh well, when I transfer from my Zelle to another. So yeah, Zelle is a platform that is linked with the banks. So if you're on Zelle's platform, you're within one of the banks within Zelle, you could be able to transfer real quickly. But if you're not within one of those banks, it's not so fast. You can't even join it, one. But two, if I'm sending from my bank account to your bank account and you're not on Zelle, it's going to take days. Whereas with this technology, it doesn't matter what account you have. You could be on, Cash App, and I have Coinbase. I can still send my Bitcoin to your Bitcoin wallet. It doesn't matter. The whole infrastructure is the same, as opposed to their infrastructure is not the same. They're still centralized to their core, just a centralized unity of banks rather than a decentralized communication between everybody. And that's what I think and respect in the long run about this technology.
Wow, yeah. Well, my wife and I, we use we have different banks, but we have the same bank now, but we used to have different banks, and we use Facebook. So we send money through each other through Facebook, but we still would both have to have Facebook Messenger. I see what you're saying.
Exactly. You see what I'm saying? There's always that you have to be on the same one in order to get it the same day. This is a technology that none of those limitations, 30 minutes, your money will be transferred. If I send you Bitcoin right now, 30 minutes from now, you'll have that Bitcoin in your address. Whereas there's other companies that are also looking at this technology and saying Bitcoin's taking too long. I see the way that they did it. I get why they did it, but there's other ways that we could do it where it takes milliseconds. And that's what a lot of developers are really working towards right now, making it so that they can have scalable and faster technology that, for the gaming community, we would be able to do billions of transactions in milliseconds. That would be differential to be able to send money to somebody and be able to receive it within milliseconds, and be able to send a transaction like a sword or a gun and receive that within seconds.
That's crazy. So let's see who is next on the list. Johnny, your boy Johnny Bionic said fragmentation of
cryptocurrency. Okay, not of Bitcoin. Got it. So fragmentation of cryptocurrency. There's 7,000 cryptocurrencies last I checked. I'm really focused on some of the top 200. I don't look at all 7,000, right? A lot of the projects are going to be scams. A lot of them are going to be people that are, might have a great idea, but have no real, product or base or anything behind you. You got to get a name out there for yourself when you're creating a project that you think is going to change the world. And if it doesn't have the potential to change the world, then why does it exist? So, to me, it's like having the amount of websites that there are. There's always going to be the top websites, Google, YouTube, all the websites that everybody goes to. And then there's going to be the websites that people go to when they need. And then there's the websites that people just don't even go to.
Right. You got maybe 1,000 people know about the websites, and that's it. Let's see.
Not a threat. And to summarize my answer, I don't see fragmentation as a threat, Johnny.
Josh said, what happens if too many people convert their money from Bitcoin to another currency? That's when it usually goes back down.
Yes. So that we call the alt season. So there's a bunch of little nicknames that's been going around. When Bitcoin's going up like we are right now from 3,000, 24,000 and beyond, we're calling that a bull market. When Bitcoin was going down from 20,000 to 3,000, we call that a bear market. A lot of the times when Bitcoin's going up, while it's still going up in the middle of the bull market, you'll have these times where, like you're saying, let me go ahead and sell Bitcoin. We just hit an all-time high of 24,000. So today, a lot of people kind of sold some of that Bitcoin and will transfer it to what we call a stable coin, like Tether, like DAI. There's a bunch of different stable coins that are fixing their tech. They've made an algorithm that's programmed to keep their currency at $1. So if a bunch of people are selling Bitcoin and buying Tether, then they're going to shrink the amount of Tether that will exist. If there's a lot of people that are selling Tether and going over to Bitcoin, then they will increase the amount. You know, whatever. I'm not an engineer, so I might have said that backwards, vice versa. But you get what I'm saying. They're manipulating the money to make sure it's fixed at $1, whereas Bitcoin is always either going to go up or, like you said, because a lot of people are selling their Bitcoin, it's going to go down. But again, my friend, let's look at the overall chart. Let's go, analytical about it. If you're looking at 15 minutes, oh my God, it went up to 20,000, 24,000 and fell down to 22,000. That's not a big deal when you zoom out and you look at, we went from 3,000 to 24,000 down to 22,000. Where do we go forward from here? I believe we're going to continue going up. There's no real basis that tells me there's a flooding of people leaving Bitcoin to go to some other cryptocurrency. Whereas on the other side, there is one happening right now that I was telling you earlier, XRP. They are currently the third largest cryptocurrency, and they were basically focused on centralizing, working with banks to create a cryptocurrency foundation. However, they were selling themselves as a product and not a, I forget the word that I'm supposed to, whatever. They weren't labeling themselves correctly in the SEC's eyes. And that's a big no-no in the United States, especially if you're trying to deal with US banks. And because they didn't go about the right paperwork, they're now being sued by the SEC for $1.5 billion. Yeah, when that news broke like yesterday morning, XRP went from like 74 cents down to like 60, 50 cents almost instantly. Today it was at 40 cents last I checked. I think 31 cents was the last time I looked. So yeah, there are potential for, some big bad news to come out that will drop your currency. This is not something like the stock market, which is just from 9 to 5. So if you're going to trade on it, you need to trade on it only between that time. Cryptocurrency trades 24/7. I can buy and sell whenever I want, if you're concerned about, millions of people that are in this space now selling their Bitcoin all at once, that's a valid concern. You should keep your eye on it if you have an investment in that. I sure do. I have stop losses set up. So if Bitcoin falls to a certain level, some of my Bitcoin will sell. I personally choose not to sell any large amount. I sell little bits over time because you never know when things will change.
Right. Yeah, so I think part of Josh's thing, he said only 21 million. And Mr. Overall said last time I tried to buy cryptocurrency, it was a pain because I didn't want to submit my identification.
I don't blame you. So a lot of people will use VPNs. Not condoning that, just letting you know that that is a technology that exists if you're trying to keep your identity secret. The United States is going to continue to be a pain and try to make sure that they, the tax man gets your dollar. So they are, of course, creating all sorts of regulations, know your customer laws, stuff like that, forcing a lot of the cryptocurrency companies that want to have access to the US market to go through those pain in the ass processes. Sorry, am I allowed to drop?
Yeah, you're good. You're good.
Okay.
Yeah. Listen, this is my thing. This isn't a Stadia Source thing. This isn't a Stadia thing. This is the all-purpose channel. You're on the Now Your MommaKnows channel, and you can say whatever you want, my friend.
Cool. I don't typically curse as much anyway, but the government's going to force the companies to do that, which is why you have to go through those processes for any platform that's trying to access US customers. So I do apologize. It's not a big deal in my eye to sign up for Cash App. In order to send money to and from your bank account on Cash App, you have to do that anyway. If you want to use Zelle, you got to do that anyway. Any one of these platforms, once you're dealing with money, you got to know your customer. That is a big thing in the United States legal system.
Okay, and then Bruce said, "How about the census? How about the
consensus algorithms?"
Yes.
So yes, Bitcoin is a very expensive algorithm, which is why I say Bitcoin is more like a gold. If you wanted to trade gold, it's expensive. You know, you gotta have the machines and all this, that, and the third, or you know, you gotta lift that brick. If you want to move, you know, hundreds of bricks of gold, you need to have the machines to move that around and this,
Right.
that, and the third. It's a lot to move gold because it's so heavy. Bitcoin was designed to be digital heavy, if you will. So yes, it was designed that way, and it's gonna, unless, which there's other platforms that are saying, you know, if you will, I told you earlier that there's 100 million Satoshis in a Bitcoin. So there's a project of developers that are working on something called Bitcoin Lightning because they believe in Bitcoin. They don't want to create a separate cryptocurrency. So what they did was they created an added added level to Bitcoin called Lightning, where I could be able to trade those Satoshis we're talking about. So if you want to trade a whole Bitcoin, then you need to go use Bitcoin. But if
Right.
you want to trade a Satoshis, you're still trading Bitcoin, but you're trading those, you know, pennies, if you will, of
Right.
Bitcoin, which for US dollars would equivocate to thousands of dollars. So I'm perfectly fine with trading sats. So when I do a lot of like giveaways and stuff like that, I'm not giving away whole Bitcoins. I don't even have a whole Bitcoin myself, but I gladly give away little sats of Bitcoin,
Right.
$10 here, $5 there. And you could use apps like Blue Wallet to be able to trade and exchange your sats of Bitcoin, as well as you can be able to plug that into applications like Discord and Telegram and all these different applications where if you're in my chat, you could be able to earn some cryptocurrency. People could give you a tip, stuff like that. One of my friends' chat rooms, he has a separate cryptocurrency that's running on a platform called EOS. They have their own like gaming engine called Wax, and they have like this side currency. So like Wax is the main currency, and then there's like the in-game, like, you know, like I would say kind of like, you know, like games where you play and you can like earn in-game currency, and
Right.
if you exchange enough of that in-game currency, you can get like the V-Bucks, if you will, or
Right.
whatever, to
Yep.
buy assets in the game. So they call it dust. So with one of my friends' chats, the more you talk in his chat room, the more you're rewarded dust. The more
Oh
dust
yeah,
you
yeah,
have,
yeah.
the more you could sell it to get Wax and buy stuff.
Okay, yeah, I was messing around with the cloud bot for OBS, and they got a whole like currency where people
Didn't
are
know
in,
that.
you know, the chat enough, they'll actually, like, I could turn it on, a loyalty system, if you will, and people
Nice.
get more points, and then they could purchase stuff in my like chat, and I could have
Exactly.
like and it keep track of everybody, and I could have
Hmm.
like raffles and
You
polls,
get it.
and they could use that currency. So here, let me ask you this: is there like a virtual casino where people are like
Yes.
using bitcoins?
Yes. Second Life was the first one to do it. They made a Bitcoin poker in Second Life, and people were buying and selling, you know, Bitcoin in there, as well as you could use like the Second Life currency, which was what people were mainly doing when they were playing poker. But they were saying like, I'll exchange your, you
Mm.
know, your Second Life money for Bitcoin. So I thought that was pretty interesting. There's some other games that are doing stuff like that, but there's a lot of gambling games in cryptocurrency. So
Right.
I'm really focused on the games that are utilizing the blockchain, like what
Gotcha.
we're talking about, you know, the Pokemon cards, if you will. But there's a lot of gambling games that are doing everything like you're talking about, all the different. I'm not a big gambler, so I couldn't tell you all the different
Right. Right.
games that are out there that are utilizing this technology to gamble.
They said I was talking to my coworkers today. They said the lottery right now is up really high. So a lot of people are doing you know, a lot of people are purchasing lottery tickets with a bunch of people trying to win. All right, so let's get through the rest of these comments. So let's see. Um, Mr. Irwin said this was during the first explosion of BTC and ETH. So I think he's talking about earlier when he was talking about your identification.
Yeah.
And
Uh, Go ahead.
yeah, no, I was just gonna say he asked Josh, was he understanding this?
Was I understanding? Maybe I'm not
No, no,
understanding
he's
it.
asking Josh. Is Josh
Oh,
understanding
okay.
this? But yeah, I
Got
was
it.
trying. His comment was well, the last thing he said was last time I tried to buy Bitcurrency, it was a pain. You were talking about that for the
Hmm.
identification, but he said this was during the first explosion of BT.
Correct.
I guess Bitcoin
Yes. Yeah.
is
Yeah.
BTC
Bitcoin and
Bitcoin.
Ethereum. So that was back
Okay.
when it first started. Like I said, I couldn't even buy it until around 2018. But,
Hmm.
you know, there was different ways that people were trying to buy and exchange it. If you knew someone that already had it, you could exchange it. Other countries, you know, had it so that way you could go onto a website and buy and sell. But the US was really blocking people. So if you're using a US bank, it wouldn't work. But I found out later on that I could have just easily gone to the, you know, 7-Eleven and bought a, you know, $30 gift card and used that gift card to then trade it.
Right.
If I knew then what I know now.
That's how life is, man. Bruce said if it's an opinion piece, but Bruce Schreiner, I guess, has a great article in Weird on blockchain. Explains it well. And
yeah, Wired does a lot of great pieces on blockchain. They did a really good one. If you guys didn't really get a lot of what we talked about here, I definitely go say check out their video where they on YouTube where they talked about blockchain to 5 different levels, you know, from a kindergartner to a grade school kid to I think a high school graduate, college graduate, and a master's degree you know, graduate, and talk to them about blockchain along the way. And that really helps you understand what this technology is about. And that's kind of one of the videos that really opened my eye to realize, wow, this isn't just something for money. I could really use this for other things.
He said, trust is the name of the game. And Ray said, I'm here, brother, just streaming and listening to the stream. Thanks, man. I appreciate you coming in. I know Michael just jumped in just to say what's up. He's calling me Cowboy. What's up, Michael? And Josh said, Mr. Overall, yes, I think crypto will really take the next step when gaming platforms start using it, and when nations in Africa start using it instead of traditional currencies.
That's already happening. We already have countries that are talking about it right now. Yo, our dollar's going down. Can we have something to hedge against this inflation by switching to a cryptocurrency? Which is the best cryptocurrency, or should we make our own cryptocurrency? China's in the process of making their own cryptocurrency. Facebook's making their own cryptocurrency. It's just, you know, you guys are hearing about it maybe for the first time now, but this isn't something that's new anymore. It's been around for about 12 years and it just keeps growing.
Mr. Overall said, I'm waiting on Akon to open his city to his crypto. What's that? What he's coming out with?
Akon is making a Wakanda, if you will, based on cryptocurrency, his own cryptocurrency called Acoin.
Crazy. I'm gonna make my own called NEMK. So if you take AndNowYour MommaKnows, it spells NEMK. That's my little thing.
Fire.
That's my acronym. So
people can buy and invest in your social coin. There's several different platforms that are creating social currencies. So, you know, like to go create your own cryptocurrency is a long, you know, treacherous process. I don't advise you to go create one. However, what I do like is that you have platforms like, I think it was called Lolly, that allows you to create your own. I'm pretty certain it's called Lolly, where it allows you to be able to create your own, if you will, like, you know, your own cryptocurrency, your own social coin. So I know one game developer that's in the space that's making a game. She made her own coin, if you will. Another person made her own call, like Finally. And like all these people are making their own social tokens that you could then be able to trade around. And like you were saying, it's kind of like a loyalty system.
Right.
You can earn more of these loyalty coins, if you will. And some people are then selling those loyalty coins, and you can plug them into exchanges to sell to other people that might want that coin. So and create a scarcity of how many of your NEMK coins exist.
Right. That's, man. So we definitely been at this thing for like almost an hour and a half. I definitely want people to watch this back. So I don't want it to go too long because a lot of my stuff on my channel actually get a lot of replays. But you know, I don't want it to go too far. But let's finish getting through the comments. Let's you're gonna give your final thoughts, and then you know, after this, guys, I'm gonna be doing the Power Up Plus. Typically, you guys know I do it at 8 p.m. But I figure, you know what, this would be cool to do this. And then I'll be doing it after this. So anybody want to stay and play some games,
I'm down to keep going.
Let's play. Well, yeah, definitely. So let's get through the rest of the comments. So he mentioned the thing about Akon. Bruce said it's U.S., Germany, and France for owning Bitcoin. So I guess those are the 3 people that own Bitcoin right now.
Not people, but countries that use it the most. Yes.
Okay. He said U.S. has 24%.
Yep. So I was telling you about all the nodes, all of the different computers that are verifying blockchain transactions on a regular. US has about 24%. China banned it, so you can't use it there anymore, but some people are still using VPNs to do so. Germany and France have a lot I know as well.
Okay. Mr. Overall said, if KFC is releasing a gaming console, you can do anything your heart desires. Now, I think, actually, I say when Donald Trump became president, you could do anything your heart
That's true.
desired.
But is
That's,
FC really creating their own gaming console,
dude,
or is
I
this a
seen
joke?
it. I think it's real now. I mean, I seen it a bunch of
So like
places. I'm
yeah, it's
like,
like the 10th time I've seen it this year.
yeah,
I
and it's
thought this was a
way
joke.
too early for it to be an April Fool's thing, right? So I'm like, is this real? Like,
I don't
well,
know
or here's
anymore,
the thing.
man.
Maybe they will, right? But maybe it's not even, because
Why?
we keep thinking it's going to be like more powerful than the PlayStation and Xbox. Maybe it's going to be like, 2D graphics, and it will really let you put a turkey in there and
Will
you'll
it
be able to
even
warm it.
like do anything? This just sounds nonsensical to me. I'm
It
sorry.
does. But I'm like you. I've heard it so many times. I'm like, is this real now?
I still
Because
don't believe it. Until I
yeah,
see one, I don't believe it.
I agree. It's like when you hear somebody passed away. Like, nope, they didn't
Mm-mm.
die until I got to see it on like CNN and Fox
How
at
many
the same
times did
time.
Robin Williams or all these different actors I keep hearing about
That listen
pass before they actually pass?
when Black Panther died. I'm gonna say call him Black Panther. I didn't believe
Oh,
it. My
don't
friends
go
were like, no,
there.
bro, he died. You're being disrespectful. I was like, yo, I don't believe it. I don't care. I got to
I
see
didn't
it.
want to believe it.
Yeah, well, that too. But so let's see. Bruce said, "Can you believe Mario Lopez is doing that Colonel Sanders movie for KFC? Is it like, are we really? Is this a real thing?
I don't even know what's what
You guys are
anymore,
killing me right
guys.
here." Mr. Overall said, "Yep, it's real. Console that keeps chicken warm, more powerful than the PS5 and VR ready."
Bull. Bull.
Which
I just don't. I can't believe it.
can't believe it
More
either.
powerful? What does more powerful mean exactly to you? Like, please define
Well,
more powerful.
I guess more powerful will be it'll have higher specs than the PlayStation 5. No, I mean that.
In toasting stuff? Yeah, sure. Higher specs in making it hotter? Absolutely. Higher specs in playing
I bet if
games?
we read it over, it's going to be wordplay. We'll probably have to read the
Sure,
article
I
that talked
believe
about
it.
it and be like you just said, yeah, higher specs at cooking. It could get hot enough to warm up a chicken. The PlayStation 5 can't do
Mm-hmm.
that, so the specs are higher. It gets hotter.
I like the first time I thought it was funny. He, it was around the
Right.
corner from April Fool's when I saw it. Now it's like, y'all guys, you're cluttering up my newsfeed with nonsense.
Yeah, I don't even want to go into this thing. But Mr. Overall, he's super into VR, so he said, "Yeah, Josh, I'm definitely buying it." And Bruce said, "My PS4 could keep chicken warm." Well, I mean, listen, my PS4 is like
I can't.
sometimes my PS4 should be I
It
should
gets
be
that hot,
arrested
yeah.
for noise pollution. I don't know, but yeah, my PS4
My,
get hot too. I definitely could warm up some
yeah.
stuff. Next time my wife make me some dinner and I'm sitting here doing a podcast or something, I'm just gonna leave my PS4 on and sit the dinner on top of it. I
Oh,
guarantee it'll
goodness.
still be ready to eat.
You're a trip.
But yeah. So let's finalize this thing. Let me see if I have a final question for you. I mean, I had a bunch of questions and I think I asked you everything. But what I would like to do,
Wow.
I really want to get into the VR space. Let me
Oh,
ask
yeah,
you
we
this:
didn't even
what's
talk
the
about that. I'm so
best?
sad.
Huh?
That's we didn't even talk about that.
I know we barely did, but what's the best VR? If I wanted to get into
Population 1.
VR right now, what is it?
Population 1 is the best in my opinion. I don't recommend that for a newbie. If you've never played VR, go to Beat Saber.
No, no,
If you
no,
are,
no. What I'm
go
saying,
ahead.
what's the best VR to buy?
Oh, headset, Oculus
Yes.
Quest 2.
Okay. Is there
Yeah,
close
sorry.
to a 3 coming out that I should wait, or I'll be okay to buy the 2 right now? Or if you're like, well, if you're not
You're
really
okay to
into
buy the
it,
2.
the 3 is supposed to be coming out in 2 or 4 months. So wait.
Nah, it wouldn't come out until October. You're good. We just got the 2.
Okay, gotcha.
The 2 is now the cheapest, lowest cost, top of the notch headset out there. $300. It has better graphics than the first one, better processing power than the first one. It's everything the first one should have been, but better. And I think Facebook did a great job. I just really want to be locked into Facebook's ecosystem. They're kind of like the Apple of VR, and it sucks. But
Oh
I do
wait.
like the fact,
So Oculus is made by Facebook?
yes.
Oh,
Well,
that's
it
weird.
was bought by Facebook.
So you can't use it with a PlayStation or Xbox or anything? So
Same type of nonsense.
so wait. So PlayStation have their own games?
Yes.
Oh,
But
I
you,
heard
of
they was
course, will
gonna
have
have like,
some games that cross over and are on both platforms because game developers can code it to whatever platform they
right.
want. But if you're making a game on PlayStation only can play with other PlayStation. Whereas if
Yeah,
you
but
have
do
an
they have?
Oculus, you can at least be able to plug it into your PC and play with other people that have like a HTC or one of the other headsets.
Right. Oh, but I'm used to playing my Facebook games and they look like trash for Atari games.
Now Facebook has actually made games that don't look like trash.
Oh, that's cool.
You know, Beat Saber is one of the top, like, just fun games to just jump in and play whenever. If
Was
you're
it Beat
into
Saber on something
shooters,
else though?
Population One is my favorite shooter. It's like Fortnite but for VR.
Okay. Wow.
Um, Outside of those two, I would really say, like story wise, if you got a PC, you definitely got to get Half-Life Alyx, probably one of the best VR games, just like, quality wise I've played so far.
Um, Spectre said my PS4 keeps getting me in trouble because of noise complaints. And Bruce
Mhm.
said, "Yeah, mine sounds like an airplane taking off too." Mr. Obermo
Sure does.
said Quest 2 for sure because it just released this year. Okay, yep, you just said that. And he just said the amount of money. You already answered that. He said Bruce said he got
Oh, so
his.
I got some people they got their own quest. If you guys want, add me Token_Gamer on Oculus Quest. I'm Tokengamer on pretty much every platform.
Y'all guys trying to get me to get one for Christmas, huh?
Get one, get it. Come join us. I'll teach you how to stream VR. It's not the
Man.
same. It's really hard.
But if I stream VR, people could watch it and not VR.
Yeah,
Also,
yes, sir. Yeah, man. You can watch all my stuff playing Half-Life and playing other games in VR. You can come to my events, all that stuff.
right. And Bruce said an Airlink and wireless PC VR. You guys are getting way above my head now. All right, so
Right now, a lot of the VR games you have to like plug your headset into. I got mine right here. You can plug your headset directly into your PC, whereas people want to, of course, be wireless. They love the fact that the Oculus Quest 2 is a wireless headset, so you could just be able to move around on the go because it has these 4 cameras to do what we call inside-out tracking.
Right.
Whereas before they had to have everything plugged into the computer so that the computer could do outside-in tracking. Now with this, if you just want to do a quick little gameplay, this can last about 90 minutes of gameplay without being plugged in. But of course, if I want to play something that's really heavy that can't even run on this, you'd plug it into your computer and you'd be able to play that. But nobody plugged in, so is there a way to be able to play games that are from the PC on this headset wirelessly? Already exists now. The technology is there if you use certain to pay for. Facebook is saying that they're going to make it so that way it's a free update where you'll just be able to play something on your PC, stream it to your headset as long as you have a fast enough router that can send that data from your computer to your headset.
Yeah,
Yep.
I heard PlayStation getting in the cloud. Guys, this is the time. If you guys got any serious questions you want to ask about anything you've been listening to via blockchain, whether it's VR, whether it's cryptocurrency, but ask your questions now because we're about to wrap it up. Let's see. Bruce said 2K per eye and 90 hertz refresh. Very nice. Oh, is he talking about
the refresh rate of the game screen? So like, when you're playing video games, you want it to refresh as fast as possible. The headset, this is one of the first headsets with 90 hertz and it refreshes really fast. You don't get as sick as people used to. And
Josh said, now we know you can't do VR because you jumped too much. You didn't do. I'm not lying. I jump all the time. I even went to the movies yesterday with my wife, and we seen Monster Hunter. And by the way, guys, the review is out now, so check out my Monster Hunter review.
Check that out.
Yeah, I jump for everything. Something happened. I remember one time we was watching a movie. I jumped, and my jumping made her jump. She was so mad. She's like, "Yo, stop jumping! You scared me." I was like, "My bad." But I'm just twitchy like that. But yeah, guys. Shameless plug. This is Everything channel, so you're gonna see interviews. You're gonna see streaming, game streaming. You're gonna see movie reviews, product reviews. I got dog videos from my crazy dog Josie. Got Christmas videos, Thanksgiving videos. I vlog. You name it, it's everything on the channel. So that's my shameless plug. Just make sure you go to my playlist and scroll down, and you'll just see all the different. Every single video on my channel is assigned to a certain playlist. So you can find other content similar to whatever content that is. But all right, let's see. Anybody got any questions? Ms. Urban says there are tons of VR channels. We all could watch movies in the theaters together on it and do live reviews on YouTube. Yeah, I mean, it's looking cool, man. I mean, this might be my next little venture.
Make it. Come on, join us. So if you guys didn't catch earlier, like I was saying, like he said, you can watch things together. I do events, I'll play video games, and I'll be in alt space at the same time. So while I'm streaming Stadia, like Cyberpunk, I'll be hosting an event in alt space where you could come and talk to me about Cyberpunk while I'm playing Cyberpunk on the big screen that you're watching.
So I got a challenge for you where I want to put this to the test. So guys, if you tuned in earlier, you would have heard that there's gonna be a Stadia holiday bash next week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, which is New Year's. There's gonna be 3 streams each day at 5, 6, 7 Pacific times. Pacific. Everybody was laughing at me because I had a problem saying that. Pacific time. And Token, I believe you're going to be in it, right?
Absolutely, as well as I'm going to make it so that way every stream is in VR. So if you guys want to join and watch it in VR, you can just go to alt space on your Mac, PC, or VR headset and be able to meet up together virtually and watch the streams together instead of, just sending chats in the chat.
Nice. So, yeah, because I was going to say, but are you going to you want to do one? So it's 15 slots we have, guys. Well, we don't have 15 slots anymore, but we got maybe 9 slots or something like that. So
yeah, I signed up. I'm down.
Okay, yeah, because I was going to ask you if you're going to do your thing specifically on VR.
Streaming Stadia, absolutely.
Yeah, but I meant specifically in VR. But obviously, you just said pretty much you are.
Absolutely. Everybody's stream will be in virtual reality. If you guys send me pictures of each streamer, I could be able to put up like a little booth for each person so they can walk around and see, ooh, this person's going to be at this date and time. This person's going to be at this date and time, and check out their channel and stuff like that on their own.
So guys, if you're late to this, remember, you guys are welcome to join. You got to let me know, inbox me, inbox Spectre, and I'll add you guys to the list. So with that said, is there any last final thing you want to say? Your final, thoughts or anything you want to say that you probably didn't say, or an overview? What do you want to tell the people?
Guys, the world is going to change. It's going to keep changing. It's going to keep evolving every day. It's hard to keep up with it all by yourself. I get it. Let's work together. Let's keep each other educated. Communities are amazing. I love what you're doing here. I love this channel. I'm all in. You'll always see me watching. Thanks, as well as I hope to see more of you guys in virtual reality. Let's grow the virtual community together and know each other for decades, and have amazing conversations educating each other on what's next. It was a pleasure talking with you. I can't wait to talk to you virtually.
Nice. All right, guys. Well, listen, I just want to take the time out to say thank you very much, Tokengamer, for coming on. Thank you for educating us all and probably confusing some of us too. And we're probably like, what was he talking about? But thank you very much, guys. You're gonna see a lot of him. Could I get this on wax, as we say, that you and I will do a collaboration at some point?
In VR, absolutely.
Okay. All right. Cool.
Anytime, man.
All right. So you guys heard it here first. And with that said, thanks for tuning in. I appreciate it. And now your mama knows.